claim back the world #1 spot.
A very tough task for Coach Danowsky. Spent a good amount of time with him and his staff this morning. He considers this entire roster of 48 guys part of the team, and he's just charged with picking 23 to actually go to Israel. So tough task today, but two good, outstanding lineups. Should be a pretty good game.
And we will run down the rosters for you for the blue team, many of which are expected to move on to that roster in July. Number 1, Ned Crotty, injured, will not be playing today. Number 2, Matt Danowsky. Number 3, Paul Rabel. Number 4, Jordan Wolf. Number 6, Ryan Brown. Number 7, Rob Pannell. Number 8, John Haus. Number 9, Drew Snyder. Number 11, Joe Walters. Number 12, Jake Bernhardt. Number 13, Kevin Unterstein. Number 15, Steve DiNapoli. Number 16, Kyle Hartzell. Number 17, Joel White. Number 18, Jesse Bernhardt. Number 19, Miles Jones. Number 20, Joe Fletcher. Number 21, John Galloway. Number 23, Michael Earhart. Number 24, Tucker Durkin. Number 27, Jack Kelly. Number 30, Trevor Baptiste. And number 32, Greg Garinlian. For the white side, number 1, Marcus Holman. Number 2, Matt Kavanagh. Number 3, Will Manny. Number 4, Jake Fricaro. Number 5, Jojo Morosco. Number 6, Mike Chinenchik. Number 7, Connor Kelly. 8, Matt Abbott. Number 9, Will Haus. Number 10, Jacob Richard. Number 11, CJ Costabile. Number 12, Scott Ratliff. Number 13, Liam Burns. Number 14, BJ Grill. 15, Tim Muller. 21, Brendon Fowler. Number 22, Brian Phipps. Wearing number 33 today, Tom Kelly. Number 25, Joe Nardella, also injured. And number 28, Dylan Malloy. 29, Connor Buczek. And number 30, Drew Adams. And Melissa, you take a look at both sides of this roster, and there's plenty of storylines between some sibling rivalry as well as having a little bit of a father-son connection as well.
Absolutely, including on the blue side, we've got both Jake and Jesse Bernhardt, Longwood, Florida natives here playing, so got some local fans here to see them. But yeah, up and down, good roster. A couple guys injured. Tom Schreiber, arguably the best player in the game right now, playing in an NLL game this evening, so not here to join us. Michael Manley's actually a New York State Trooper. He's involved in a trial in New York, so couldn't be here with us today. And we lost one to the big northeast storm. Michael Evans is not here from Chesapeake.
Yeah, big, huge storm up north. When you look at the weather, it looks like a hurricane of just snow and freezing rain. So I'm sure, even though it's a little unseasonably cold here in Florida, just a little under 60 degrees before we have our opening face-off. Definitely a relief for a lot of these players coming up from the Northeast.
We were very fortunate to just lose one to the storm. We had lots of rerouted flights, but most of the guys made it down here. I know they're ready to go. They had a very spirited practice this morning. Coach mentioned they were going to throw some new things at them, see how they'll handle it. Again, it's tough at this level to differentiate between who's going to make this final roster and not. Really looking at different combinations of players that may play well together, when they throw some different things at them, who reacts well. Those are the kinds of things that Coach Danowsky and his staff are looking for today.
And one thing to note, there are a couple of different rule changes that will be in place. Those of you that are more familiar with the domestic game, we will have 4 20-minute quarters, of which there will be a continuous running clock even after goals and other stoppages. So the only time the clock will stop would be in the final 3 minutes of the fourth quarter. And since this is basically the 40 or so best players in the country right now, we have to expect that we're probably going to see a lot of scoring, and our goalies are going to be fairly tested.
You would think so, but also keep in mind that in the FIL rules, there is no shot clock. So I think Coach will be deliberate about making these guys slow down a little to get used to playing at that pace and at that tempo. The other teams they will play, whether it's Canada, the Iroquois, will really slow the pace of the play down. So look maybe to see Coach try to get these guys to take a little extra time.
And we are just moments away from the opening face-off. Again, blue is wearing their blue jerseys, red numerals, white trim. The white team will be wearing white jerseys with blue numerals. They will go right to left, and directionally that is south to north. Actually, it looks like we'll be swapping it up as we await the opening face-off. Looks like it will be Tom Kelly taking it for white, and Greg Garinlian for Team Blue. And IMG Academy, one of the elite training facilities for all over the world, not just lacrosse, but also soccer, tennis, golf, baseball. So just a ton of stuff. You never know who you're going to run into at IMG Academy. U.S. Lacrosse has made this one of their training homes for the past few years for these winter and spring showcases. There's always very, very entertaining games. Now Gorenlian and Kelly.
Looks like coach has gone with Jack Kelly and Drew Adams to start respectively in goal.
And as we mentioned, it will be 4 20-minute quarters. The clock will not stop even after goals, so the pace of the game, also with the shot clock off, will be slightly slower. But again, it will give these teams more time to get a little creative before going on the attack. Now Bernhardt loses control, gets back up, cycles back behind the net. That to Pennell. Front trying to find some open spot. There's Rabel, and now they will go back toward midfield.
Pretty daunting attack line here with Jordan Wolf and Pennell and Rabel and Danowsky.
Looking to get that first goal again. The blue team is the team that has a lot of the guys that are expected to play on that international stage in July. So these white guys know they have a lot of chance to impress.
And certainly a lot of opportunity. Again, you know, coach had a lot of question marks up in the air, so I think you'll see these guys work as hard as they can here.
And they sneak one through. I believe that was Rob Pannell, just a little flick behind him. Sneaks one by the goalie, Drew Adams. So blue takes that 1-0 lead.
Familiar connection there, Rabel to Pennell. They spend a good portion of the year doing that.
We take a look at the replay. Just sneaks it in and just outside of the crease. And Rob Pennell, great awareness of where he was on the field. Now, Melissa, we talked about some of the rule changes. Are there any dimensional changes as far as the size of the field?
Yeah, the space behind the goal, you'll notice it's just about 10 yards, whereas the NCAA level, it's 15. The field for the FIL is bigger than the NCAA collegiate field. You know, you tend to notice that towards the end of the game, the end of the half, you see guys start to get a little bit tired. So the field, it is stretched out a little bit more. No mandatory clearing time coming out. So normally these guys are used to having to get the ball across the line a certain amount of time. You won't see that.
Very similar to international hockey as well, playing with that very open field. And again, with no shot clock, will definitely give both of these teams a lot more time to try to create with no shot or initiation clock.
I think that's going to be the biggest change for these guys out here today, most of them playing in the MLL, having come from the NCAA, where scores are very high and scoring is very frequent. The countries they're going to be playing are used to playing and will play at a slower pace. So I would think that coach and these players have been told to slow this pace of play down so they can get used to what will happen when they play those other teams.
Now Rabel fighting forward. Throws one behind the net. Now White very passive in their defense as that one comes back towards midfield, and instead that is Matt Danowsky, coach's son, 2008 Duke Lacrosse graduate.
Not only a Duke graduate and the coach's son, but also the coach's assistant. He's an assistant coach at Duke University with his dad, has been for many years. There are, I think, a dozen different colleges for which these guys are either head or assistant coaches as well.
Now Rabel back out to Haus and through, trying to find some open space, and they sneak one through, and that time it is the coach's son, Matt Danowsky, puts blue up 2-0.
Matt Danowsky, sort of one of the ageless wonders on this roster. It seems like the older he's gotten, the better he's gotten. Just a well-placed shot there.
There you see Joe Walters, the 06 Maryland graduate. Again, you look down the roster for both blue and white. A lot of these guys coming from very similar areas of the country. You see Duke, very notably known for their men's lacrosse team, as well as Maryland, the home of U.S. lacrosse. So right now it's been all blue, but white starting out strong after the face-off. It is Fowler.
Yeah, it is an interesting roster. You do have a lot of the Hopkins, the Dukes, Loyola, Maryland, but then you've got some Brown thrown in there, Salisbury, Marquette, Hofstra. So some different guys getting in the mix here, which is nice to see.
It's really the first time we've seen White with possession trying to create an attack. As Brendon Fowler, the more recent Duke graduates, class of 2014. Now Cavanaugh back out to Chanichuk. Orozco back to Chanichuk. See Blue just kind of suffocating just outside of the crease. Playing some great defense and then trying to sneak one through, and that just misses wide right and gets it back to Blue. Excellent effort on the shot. Now Blue quickly on the counterattack. Back out, that is Bernhardt. For Danowsky.
It's a good heads-up play on the other end by Tucker Durkin to keep that ball inside the crease instead of give possession back to White.
Wolf back out to Pennell. And we see Miles Jones as well, another Duke grad.
Miles Jones is tough to miss.
Very imposing force.
Big, solid player.
Now Pannell. Back out for Jones.
This is a good matchup here for Miles Jones with a short stick on him.
Jones tries to get through, blocked away. A little bit of contact in the crease. See some substitutions coming on for both White and Blue in 2018 U.S. Lacrosse Spring Premiere. Coach John Danowsky with the tough task of having to pick only 23 of these players to go to Israel to, again, try to reclaim their glory and take it away from Canada.
Tough turnover there for Connor Buczek. Just a little bit of a high pass. He's looking for Will Manny.
That's Hartzell and Joe Walters on that far side. Blue up 2-0.
I think you're going to see a lot of this in this game, the substitutions, to see which combinations of guys worked well together on attack.
Snyder finds Rabel, looking for that open shot. Tries to sneak it through, blocked away. Great defense by Drew Adams.
Yeah, good save there for Adams to stay on that post. He took the worst end of that Miles Jones collision, but he looks like he's all right. We got a flag down here.
Yep. Buczek was on the charge, and it looked like
Pennell
just with a little chop on him.
Yep. It's really a free play for White here. Another international rule is a little bit different. If you go back over the restraining line, that it also automatically is going to initiate that penalty.
Now the official will go pick up his flag.
Blue penalty, number 7, Rob Pannell, pushing 30 seconds.
That was Pennell with a pushing penalty. So White with a chance and try to cut that deficit to just 1. Swings through, and it looks like Michael Earhart just got to stick to it.
Yeah, White rushed that a little bit again. You're 30 seconds man up. Really got to try to capitalize on that.
Played just about 10 minutes. Again, a running clock. After goals, it does not stop. So Instead of the 4 15-minute quarters with the stoppages, this will go probably relatively quickly. Again, the only time the clock will stop, the final 3 minutes of the fourth quarter. So now Blue and Pannell back on the field. Defended by Costabile. Jones back up and then shoots and scores. That is John Haus. Miles Jones faked like he wanted to take a shot, finds Haus right in front of the net.
It's a great look to find that seam by Miles Jones. Something he's improved the last few years is his feeding ability.
As we take a look at the replay, Jones just that little pump fake and then finds Haus in some open space. And that puts Blue up 3-0. Just about 9:30 remaining. Now the face-off. Won by Blue, but wide able to get it. Losing track of it was Scott Ratliff.
We're going to get a hold here on White, so Blue will get possession of that ball.
Back on the attack. Trying to fight one through, blocked away by Drew Adams. What a save.
Again, solid save from Drew Snyder. He always seems to be in the right spot.
Blue also right now showing just exactly why they are the expected roster. Just very composed and have been in possession most of this first quarter. Now Rabel fighting through, cycles back out to Pennell. Now Jordan Wolf looking for some open space. Into the middle, tries to fire one back, Drew Snyder. It was a little wide and just out. Now Pennell, they'll bring it back out to Snyder. Guarded by Matt Abbott. Now back for Scott Ratliff, too. And Blue just taking their time looking for that attacking opportunity.
I think I gave credit for a save to Drew Snyder. That's Drew Adams in the cage.
Looking through, and that one just a little high. Jordan Wolf trying to find Drew Snyder. That will give the ball back to White. White has had a couple of opportunities, missed one by inches. They will try again to get on the board here with just about 7 minutes remaining in the first quarter.
Connor Kelly with the ball here, one of the two current college players on this roster. He'll graduate this year from Maryland. The other is Trevor Baptiste from Denver.
Both fairly strong lacrosse schools.
Yep.
Now Morosco looking for an opening. And we talked about that suffocating defense from Blue, and again, just not giving White any space around the crease or the cage.
Yeah, this is a guy you got to be real careful with. He didn't take a great shot there, but that's Dylan Malloy with that shot. He can be awfully sneaky in the middle there. Got open, just didn't take a great shot.
Jack Kelly was able to keep that out of the back of the net. And Blue quickly back on the offensive. And Rob Pennell. Blue back out to Miles Jones. And you can really see the effects of not having that shot clock here as players are able to take their time if they need to get some breath as well. It's allowing them a lot more time to try to find some open space and find an open player to possibly get an assist and another goal.
And it's a different game to watch. You know, the majority of these rosters are coming from the MLL where they have a 30-second shot clock. So used to getting possession and having to take a shot very quickly. This is much different. It's a little unsettling for these guys. You can see they're kind of trying to remember, oh, yeah, I have all the time in the world, and trying to balance, I really want to take this shot with, you know, I got to do a little bit better with clock management. So it's definitely an adjustment.
And early on, it allows you some time to try to get some crisp and well thought out goals, but as the game winds down, that is definitely going to be a factor that plays more to the advantage of whichever team is leading, which right now Blue has all of that power.
Absolutely, and it's important here to make sure that if you're Blue and if you're I guess that looks like Coach Amplo on that sideline there. If you're Blue, you really have to learn how to play with a lead, that you don't need to turn the ball over, that you don't need to rush anything, because, frankly, when they get to the tournament, this is exactly what they're going to see.
Now over to Fricaro. Back out for Buczek. Excellent save to keep it in. Opportunity maybe for White to get on the board. Running through is Cavanaugh. And again, those long stick middies and the short stick defensive mids are just completely keeping White away from the net.
Absolutely great steal there by Joel. Joel White just stuck his stick out, caused that turnover.
And Blue taking their times as they will have some of those fluid substitutions. Paul Rabel. Over to Pennell. Fighting through is Drew Snyder. Trying to find some open space to get a shot off.
Again, what they're trying to be patient for is looking to see if they can create a matchup with one of those short stick defensive middies.
As Pennell into the middle and sneaks one through. Pennell to John Haus, and he blisters one by Drew Adams and puts Team Blue up 4-0.
Absolutely fantastic look there by Rob Pennell. Again, he's such a dangerous shooter that everybody's eyes go to him when he has the ball. He took a couple steps toward the goal, able to draw the defense out and find that open space in the middle. Good finish by Haus.
Now we'll see Greg Gurenlian facing off against Tom Kelly.
Maybe a good time to mention that Coach John Danowsky is not alone in his skill here. We'll get to the assistant coaches for this team in just a second. I think this is going to maybe head up. Oh, good save.
Gurenlian finding Pennell. Now back up top for Unterstein.
It's good hustle by Pennell to keep that ball in. Be patient here. We switch some attackers in.
Pennell back up for Miles Jones.
Looks like Joe Walters has made his way onto the field as well.
We're now down to just about 90 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Blue leading White 4-0. Pennell up for Snyder. Walters looking for space. No good pass. Instead just finds Miles Jones trying to create some more.
1 minute remaining in the first quarter.
Down to the final 60 of quarter number 1. Pennell on the charge. That's back for Snyder. Jones looking for an open shot. Down for Pennell and lining one up, and what a save.
Drew Adams, what a great save. wide open shot there on the wing. He got his body right behind it. That's a big play for White. See if they can steal a goal here. 20 seconds to go.
Now down to 15, trying to just get in front of the net and get a shot off with 10 seconds now. You can see that blue defense still forcing through. We'll try to see, but it doesn't look like they're able to. That blue defense stands pat, and at the end of 20 minutes of play, blue 4, White 0, and pretty much what we expected, and blue dominating possession. But Melissa, a very exciting half, especially for the blue. Just again, you kind of saw that little adjusting to some of the new rules as well. But again, blue very composed and very strong in that first 20 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, I think they look good. Again, a bunch of these guys, they're off of their MLL season, so they haven't picked up a stick in a little bit of time. I think they look good so far. The highlight for me for the White team is goalie Drew Adams. Made a couple of big saves. This game could be, 6, 7 goals deep, but he's made some big saves.
Also strong to note, talked about it a lot in the first quarter, but the blue team, just their defense and the way they've protected the crease in the net, their goalie has rarely been tested. When White's had the ball, they haven't, when they've gotten close, they haven't really gotten any big attacking opportunities, but the one they had, they were inches away and haven't been close since. And we would like to thank the U.S. national team partners for their support of U.S. lacrosse and for making this stream possible. The U.S. men's national team trains and plays using best-in-class products provided by Nike, Cascade, STX, Warrior, SISU Guard, and the Pearl by Guardian. In addition to these partners, Chipotle Mexican Grill, MedStar Sports Medicine, Greenfields, Nationwide, Sports Force Parks, and SweatX are official sponsors of Team USA. And team training is also aided by products from DJO Global, Motive Pure, Normatec Recovery, and Athletic Republic.
Yeah, I think while we have a second, just to mention the tremendous coaching staff that head coach John Danowsky's put together. He's assisted by Joe Amplo, head coach at Marquette University. Tony Resch is one of the assistants of the Charlotte Hounds from the MLL, and Seth Tierney, head coach at Hofstra. His assistant general manager, I think, who's also doing some coaching as well, Ben DeLuca, the new head coach at the University of Delaware. General manager Jimmy Butler, and their strength and conditioning is done by Jay Dyer. So quite a staff that Coach Danowsky's put together. Also wanted to mention the officials you're seeing on the field are the officials that will represent the United States at the FIL Championships. They are Keith Glock, Randy Milo, Tony Cordani, and John Oshner. So big honor for them to go to the blue division for the FIL World Championships.
Of course, always the largest microscope goes on the officials when you're on a stage that big. They take a lot of heat, and it is not an easy job. So for this second quarter, Team Blue will be going left to right on your screen, north to south here in Bradenton, Florida. We are at IMG Academy Stadium. Just about an hour south of Tampa, Florida. That is Ryan Brown. Finds Paul Rabel. Blue team leading 4-0. Right now, just some of the white players trying to impress, but it's very tough against this blue squad. Pressure coming, Pennell.
Some good pressure being put on by the white team, just can't quite come up with the ball.
Joe Walters finds Paul Rabel. Rabel fires one and puts it off the post. And now White going to move on to the charge. It is Will Haus, brother of John. Definitely would love to join his brother in Israel there. The errant pass just tracking out. Chance coming. White fires, and they finally get on the board. Marcus Holman blisters one by the goalie, Jack Kelly, and a beautiful build-up to that goal.
Yeah, Marcus Holman, I'm a little partial to him because he's also a Tar Heel, but I think he's one of those players that's sort of right on the cusp. I would look to see him really pick it up today. You know, he's a hard worker and a heck of a player. I think he's out here with something to prove, and that's a good start for him.
There you saw Tucker Durkin just a little lax on the defense and allowed Holman to find some open space, and just a beautiful 1-2 for Team White. Gets their first goal. It's 4-1, though, still in favor of blue.
Yep. Trevor Baptiste came up with that, but then lost it.
So we'll see if maybe that gives White some needed momentum to possibly cut the deficit to 2. Now Holman, the last goal scorer, trying to find some open space again. Looks, fires one, and
Holman can really be a game changer. You know, he's one of those guys that has endless energy. He's an incredibly hard worker. He's a great shooter. If they're going to turn it around, White, I think it's going to be on his back for sure.
Now a chance just outside the crease, and they'll have to go back out. Good pressure coming, Connor Buczek. Now Connor Kelly. White with some great movement, shoots and fires one through and gets another goal back-to-back. Matt Kavanagh now adding one for White, and now they trail by 2.
Seems like whatever Coach Danowsky had to say between quarters there resonated with this team. They look like have a lot more energy, a lot more confidence. They're putting good pressure on defense.
Scored by number 2, Matt Kavanagh, unassisted, time approximately 16-17.
Now, how does the mentality work? Because essentially, Melissa, all of these guys are teammates. They're all playing for Team USA. You have your blue team and your white team. As far as the competitive edge that either of these teams has, how does it affect the chemistry with these guys, since they don't necessarily get to play together all the time?
They don't, and frankly, they're very comfortable playing with and against each other. They do it all year in the MLL. They did it throughout their college careers. This is a very tight-knit group. Coach Danowsky's done a great job keeping them together and reminding everyone this is the U.S. squad. He simply has to pick a roster to go to Israel. I think he's made every one of those guys feel like they're part of this team.
There you see a great save by Jack Kelly, another shot by Matt Kavanagh.
Dylan Malloy, a Florida Launch MLL player. There are a number of Florida Launch players on this roster.
Down in Boca Raton, about 3.5, 4 hours south of where we are. And
Warmer.
Only slightly warmer right now.
I'm not complaining. We came from Maryland, so.
Some great passing by White. That something we did not see much of in the first quarter, but they have kind of rallied together here in the second frame and have put 2 goals together back-to-back and have kept the pressure on blue. Looking for
much better
shot.
Ball movement. Much better off-ball movement.
Tries to shoot one that just sails high.
Yeah, I think that one, Joel White got a tip on that shot. Be hearing that name a lot. Joel White, number 17 in blue, big, solid defenseman.
So we'll see Dylan Malloy. Has a little space to run, tries to put a spin move, but beautiful back pass. Now Chanichuk. Back out for Morosco. Strong D, and Morosco fights his way just outside the crease and puts it by. Again, was guarded by Blue pretty hard as he worked his way through, but wide open. Jojo Morosco takes it himself and brings White back within 1 goal.
A great finish, and again, good patience by White to find the matchup they wanted, capitalize on that. Again, even if you look now, end of play, Marcus Holman out there congratulating his guys, working hard. He really is sort of the captain of that offense. As long as he's on the field, Blue's going to have a tough time.
And there, Jake Bernhardt, the defenseman there, had a stick on him the whole time, and Morosco just muscled his way to goal.
Yep.
Now White winning the faceoff with a chance to tie it up, but taken back away. That was Steve DiNapoli, one of the guys that played his college at Sheward Stadium on Long Island at Hofstra. One of the brighter lacrosse fields in all of the country.
Buried under a lot of snow right now.
You see Paul Rabel bring it back up again. Now the blue team has to wake up a little bit. All the scoring has been on the north goal so far.
And this is a challenge with a rule set that has no, shot clock, is that it's real easy to kind of get lulled to sleep in this, and all of a sudden you got a tie ball game.
Now White with some open field.
Looking Matt forward. Abbott.
Abbott brings it across. Tries to take a hard angle on it, does Marcus Holman instead. That will trail just out. It's been a very clean game. Just 1 foul so far. That happening in the first quarter, but
I think these guys will feel each other out for the first couple quarters and see what's happening. But I would expect you'll see the intensity and probably the physicality pick up towards the third and fourth quarter. Again, this is their last chance to make a good impression on Coach Danowsky and his staff.
Especially that final 3 minutes where there will be the only stoppages of clock time. Fighting through Malloy. Just in front. Holman trying to find an open slot and unable to settle his stick down.
You're going to get a hold here on Blue. White possession out on the side. Holman had his stick held down a little too long.
So now White will have a chance again to find an equalizer. They trail 4-3 with just over 10 minutes remaining in this second quarter. Now Malloy fighting his way, tries to do that little deft move back to Matt Kavanagh. Now a little discussion on the field right now.
Just a clarification on whose ball. The officials indicated White, so we'll stay with White.
Now Cavanaugh works his way back to Malloy.
It's a good matchup here for Malloy again with a short stick on him. He's going to get some help, I hope.
Just in front and can't get it by Jack Kelly, and that time takes a rocket shot going just wide left.
Jack Kelly got a piece of that ball.
White trying to tie it up. Chanachuk. And they lose it. And now Blue back on the offensive.
Just a mishandle by Connor Buczek there. Unfortunate he was open. I think he was looking at the goal before he caught that ball.
And now Danowsky going to give his guys some time to get a breather. And one of the benefits of not having that shot clock or initiation clock. Now Jordan Wolf, one of the first offensive stretches that we've seen for Blue in this second quarter. It's been all White for the second 20 minutes.
And again, it just shows you the balance on this roster, top to bottom, whether it's Blue or White. These guys can all play. They're all excellent players.
As Jones tries to find Joe Walters there, and just as we praise Blue for getting back on the attack, White right back the other way.
Seen a couple of missed passes again, even at this level. A little bit of nerves.
Unfortunate for Will Manny there, as he had a
Wide
wide
open.
open look at net. And
He
just
don't
puts
want
it
that
over.
one back.
Will Manny out of Massachusetts University, class of 2013. It's also nice to look down this roster and see a huge, you've got guys that graduated in 06 and guys that are still in college right now. So to see them kind of gel this well early on is
well, and it's
very
nice for the
positive
young
sign.
players as well to have someone, Matt Danowsky coached Miles Jones at Duke. So, there's just a lot of opportunity for mentorship on this team. That's something that Coach Danowsky really stresses, the importance of the older guys, really kind of providing that leadership and that guidance for the young guys.
Now Blue. Drew Snyder getting bullied a little bit. They'll take some time to reset.
It's good pressure by the White defense, something we didn't see early in the first quarter.
And lines up a shot, and that one blocked away, and a beautiful save by Drew Adams again.
Drew Adams so desperately would like to make this roster. He's certainly showing well here today.
Now that he's got new life with the 3 goals that have brought the White team back within 1. Huge momentum boost for the netminder. Now for Caro. It's also Connor Kelly trading a few passes back and forth. And trying to tie it up. A little over 6 minutes to do so remaining in this second quarter. Quickly on the charge.
And again, for the goalkeepers, really, this is these two that are in the cage now, Kelly and Adams. This will be their last shot. I expect to see Phipps and Galloway in the second half for Blue and White.
And there it is, the tire by Connor Buczek. He's able to sneak one by. And White has tied it up, and after it looked like they weren't going to have a shot in the first quarter, White has played with a chip on their shoulder for this last 15 minutes, and they have come level with the Blue team.
And it's a nice goal for Connor Buczek. He had 2 kind of sloppy turnovers, and then to come back with a goal there is good recovery.
Let me take a look at the replay. Just
way
beautiful.
Too much space to get him to let those hands free.
So tied up 4 goals apiece. 0 have been scored on the South goal so far. Blue is going to try to change that in this final 5. Now Blue taking a little bit of breather, looking for some open space. White seems content to let them work their way up. Miles Jones just mishandles it. White fighting for it. It'll bounce around, and they will stop play. That will be our second foul of the day.
Looks like we got a push there on Blue. Might have been a little bit of frustration there by Ryan Brown.
That'll give White a chance to reset and get back on the attack.
Oh, actually, that penalty was on Miles Jones.
Chanichuk. Looking for Buczek. Looking for his second goal.
One of the things we saw early in the first quarter was Blue really able to get that player in the middle open. I think what White, the adjustment they made is they're really shutting off that center, forcing Blue to try to shoot from the outside. I think it's frustrating them. You saw that on the other end with the penalty. So some good adjustments by the White squad.
Trying to find that go-ahead goal, diving in.
Yeah, we're going to get another penalty here.
Off the iron.
It's going to be a technical 30-second foul there for a push.
Valiant effort by White to try to dive in and just sneak through that crease, but puts it off the bar, and they are a benefactor. It looks like have a quick timeout as well.
Jack Kelly having some conversation with the official. The rules surrounding the crease and ending up in the crease a little bit different on the international level as well, so I think he's just trying to get some clarification there.
Timeout, White team.
And this is definitely, Melissa, been a tale of two quarters. The Blue team just dominating the first 20 minutes and haven't really seen much from them since.
Right, I think the conversation here on the Blue sideline is, okay, we can't get that guy in the middle open, so we're going to have to move the ball a little faster. It looks like they've slowed down a little too much. Guys aren't quite moving as fast off the ball, so I would expect Blue to come out of this timeout with a little bit more energy.
And definitely with those different combinations of players as well. You know, Coach Danowsky is taking notes as which combinations are working well and which ones are not. And right now, for the last 18 minutes or so, whatever changes have been made to Blue have not been working for them, as well as White just kind of, again, we mentioned playing with that chip on their shoulder, and they've been able to claw their way back into this game and look like the stronger side right now.
Yeah, I would think that he's laying on his attack a little bit. They're going to be on defense man down right here, but on the attacking end, you've got guys like Rabel and Wolf and Ryan Brown that need to get themselves back into this game. So I expect he's taking a couple extra minutes to tell him what he thinks he should see, but we're going to get a restart here with White man up.
So a chance for White to take their first lead of the afternoon/early evening. The last time we saw them a man up, they kind of had a wasted chance and put it away from net, and Blue was able to capitalize. And you kind of see that little umbrella out top. Firing one is Holman, and getting a save to it was Jack Kelly.
It's a good stop by Jack Kelly. Not the best shot from Holman, but a solid save there. And again, just run this penalty out.
Holman opened the scoring for White early in this second quarter. You can hear the coaching staff. Also, one of the benefits of showcases like this in these somewhat intimate venues is you get to hear coaches yelling out commands that you don't necessarily get to in a MLL or an NCAA environment.
I think that's a blessing and a disguise. I'm sure there's some things that the players would rather us not hear come out of the coaches' mouths.
Especially if they disagree with an official's call or trying to respond to coach.
And again, just a sloppy turnover there by Blue. Ryan Brown wide open in the middle, just couldn't connect that pass.
Now Buczek. 90 seconds remaining in this second frame, and we'll have our halftime break.
28 and 29, Buczek and Malloy are teammates for the Florida launch, so certainly used to being on the attacking end together.
And trying to find that go-ahead goal, taking a deep shot, and that effort by Jake Fricaro.
And that was a mistake of a shot by Fricaro. Well, not so much by Fricaro, but his teammates, no backup behind that goal, so they lose possession there. That's something I imagine will drive coach a little crazy with less than a minute left.
Blue looking for that go-ahead goal. Nobody has scored on this net to the right of us so far this afternoon. All 8 goals between both teams have been scored to our left on the northern goal. And there will be a timeout called by Blue with 43 seconds remaining. Again, the timeouts after scoring 4 goals are a lot better than the ones after conceding 4 goals.
Exactly. I would think that coach is going to come up with some type of play for a last shot here. Hopefully they're able to connect. Again, just a little disappointing to see Blue come out so strong, and then really the last couple possessions, sloppy turnovers, not much energy on the field. So
that's also one of the negatives of a showcase like this is you have your expectations, and again, everybody's playing for the same team here. So when you have those cycles, it's almost a shame that you can't take some guys from white and switch them with blue at halftime.
I wouldn't be surprised if we see a couple swaps at halftime. I haven't gotten any indication of that yet, but I have a feeling we might see a couple. Maybe on the defensive end, we might see it at halftime. So we'll see.
And we'll see what strategy Blue comes with out of this timeout. And thank you for spending your Saturday evening with us here at IMG Academy Stadium in Bradenton, Florida, home of one of the #1 teams in high school football, also one of the top soccer programs in the country, a very strong lacrosse program. Had a chance to talk with some of the IMG lacrosse coaches yesterday as well. Everybody very excited to have Team USA on campus.
Yeah, IMG's been a great host for us the last few years that we've done this spring premiere. Wonderful facility. The guys really like coming down here. So can't say enough about how welcoming they always are when we're here and excited to have us, and we're certainly excited to be here again.
30 seconds remaining in the first half. Blue trying to get that go-ahead goal. Miles Jones back out for Rabel. Now down to 20. Looking for that long shot. Opts to pass out wide. Come back now with 10 seconds.
Yeah, Ryan Brown's got a short stick matchup here.
Just tries to sneak it in and whip it through. Instead, Drew Snyder puts it wide, and that is how the first half will end. We are tied up blue and white 4-4. Yeah, just to remind you guys, today's exhibition game is the final chance for this 40-plus team of players to make their case to be included on the 23-player travel roster for the summer's World Championship in Netanya, Israel. Here's a look at what playing for Team USA means to our nation's best players.
It means everything. Every time I think about what it was like wearing USA and listen to the national anthem at those games, it's just takes my breath away a little bit.
There's no blueprint to this process, but I really enjoy just that, the process of playing with Team USA and creating a new team and playing with new coaches and competing for a gold medal. This opportunity ahead of us is the next chance, and hopefully you take lessons from 2010 and 2014 and make a good 2018.
Just the thought of having USA across your chest and representing your country, and I think would be a dream come true.
Members around the country and seeks to provide national leadership, structure, and resources to fuel the sport's growth and enrich the experience of participants. One of the newest initiatives of U.S. Lacrosse is the Lacrosse Communities Project, a program that infuses significant resources into targeted areas to foster healthy, sustainable urban growth of the sport. Last September, U.S. Lacrosse rolled out the program in Cleveland, and here's a video highlighting a momentous day.
Cleveland is on the rise. Like much of urban America over the past 5 decades, it has struggled. But a tight-knit band of diverse, hardworking communities have bonded together to collectively grow and invest in a brighter future. Residents and institutions are deeply committed to improving the life and health of the community. It's because of this dedication that U.S. Lacrosse has chosen Ohio City as the national pilot for the Lacrosse Communities Project.
Thank you very, very much for being here at Urban Community School and for the launch of the Lacrosse Communities Project here in Cleveland.
You know, I found that whenever we give young people choices and whenever we expose them to alternatives, they always do better and they generally make the right decision.
Our primary goal is not to identify and nurture the most gifted athletes, but rather to positively impact every child exposed to the sport. A positive lacrosse experience can change the trajectory of a child's life, and through the Lacrosse Communities Project, we're committed to working with invested community partners throughout the country to do just that.
We are here today because of the unique opportunity to bring lacrosse into the city. This is an asset that is going to be able to be used to help broaden one of the best schools in our neighborhood, as well as serve the broader community, which is really important.
I think it's the next logical step for the growth of the game. Really, you've got an untapped resource with thousands and thousands of kids, and we want to give the opportunity to those kids to experience lifelong friends, opportunities that are priceless.
This becomes the place where the rock hits the pond, from which the sport ripples out through Cleveland, giving the next generation of youth the opportunity to embrace America's first sport.
And welcome back to IMG Academy Stadium. Ryan Sudol and Melissa Coyne getting ready to bring you the final 40 minutes of this U.S. Lacrosse Spring Premiere as we try to whittle down the roster from over 40 players down to 23 for their July contest in Netanya, Israel, trying to regain that world #1 ranking that Canada was so mean to take from them back in 2014 when they met in Denver, Colorado. So we've seen 2 very contested quarters and a tale of 2 totally different teams in both. White be going left to right for this third quarter. Again, we're playing 4 20-minute running clock quarters. There will be no stoppage until the final 3 minutes of the fourth quarter. And the bad news for White starting in this third quarter is that nobody has scored on this goal that they are trying to attempt to score on so far. All 8 goals going from right to left in the first 2 quarters. The first 4 by Blue and the second 4 by White in the second quarter.
Yeah, absolutely. Making things even harder is that you've now got 21 Blue John Galloway in the goal.
And there we see one sneak right by. And just as you mentioned him, believe that was Connor Buczek getting his second goal of the afternoon, and the first time White has had the lead and the first goal scored on the Southern goal.
It's a great shot. Too much space there down the alley. He's able to find himself wide open.
Beautiful pass by Matt Kavanagh to set up that goal.
Looks like Kevin Unterstein got picked there. That's a false start.
Now White getting awarded the face-off. And now 5 straight goals by White has seen them with their first lead of the night. Also had a couple of roster changes. We saw Liam Burns and Kyle Hartzell swap jerseys at halftime to try to change things up for these teams. Hartzell will be wearing 13 for White. Burns will be wearing 16 for Blue.
Yeah, Burns had a solid first half. I think Coach probably wants to see him in the mix with some of these guys on Blue on defense.
That's White trying to extend their lead. Cavanaugh working his way towards goal. Back up top, and then the underhander, and that was Mike Chanichuk putting White up by 2, and now Blue kind of playing on their heels a little bit.
Yeah, some big gaps defensively. That's the second time we've seen something sort of wide open in the middle there.
Again, we've only had 2 fouls in the game.
So far.
So far. Both,
I'd expect to see the physicality of this game pick up this quarter.
both on Blue, and there you saw it, just that little kind of sweeping underhand shot by Chanichuk. And White winning another face-off.
Yeah, Tom Kelly really doing a great job on the face-off.
And Cavanaugh.
This is the first time Tom Kelly's been able to play in the last couple Team USA meetings. He's been injured. Good to see him back on the field, and he's doing pretty well. That's a turnover there for White. Matt Kavanagh not happy about it, but it's whoever's closest when that ball crosses the line.
Saw Cavanaugh pleading his case. Now we'll see Blue with their first offensive chance of the third quarter. Rob Pennell. Blue now trailing 2 goals. Biggest deficit we've seen so far today was 4-0. But Team White has scored 6 consecutive and unanswered. Now trying to sneak one through, and
unreal save by Bryant Phipps there, right on the doorstep. Nobody there but him in the goal. What a great stop.
Phipps, the second half goalie for the White team. Drew Adams recording 5 saves in the first half, and for Team Blue, Jack Kelly had a good first quarter, getting 6 saves in, but both of them conceding 4 goals. So now White taking advantage of that no shot clock, allowing the subs to come on and also get a little bit of a breather. Connor Kelly finds Cavanaugh, who's been fantastic all afternoon.
Yeah, Cavanaugh does a great job on the ball. You know, he's got a nose for the ball. That's a great hustle by the Blue keeper there. Galloway is one of the faster, more nimble goalkeepers you'll see. You can never just assume your teammate's going to get there first. So good heads-up play by a veteran player. Cavanaugh's another one, you know, kind of sitting on the bubble, I think. That's why you're seeing so much out of him today. Really trying to make a good impression on this coaching staff. I think he's done a good job so far.
Cavanaugh, one of the younger players on either roster. Graduate of Notre Dame, 2016.
Fantastic career for Notre Dame. He was here a couple of years ago playing against the U.S. team for Notre Dame.
Fighting Pennell, trying to get there. Instead, it is Brian Phipps coming up with it. White, you just kind of see roaming the field right now with sort of confidence that was after the first 2 goals, they thought they could kind of come in here and take the lead, and they have been having the momentum since that moment. Once they got back within 4-3, you've kind of seen this swagger about the white team and have been able to control the ball, make some crisper passes, and just, again, 6 consecutive goals says it all. And there's Galloway coming up with it. Now Pennell back for Drew Snyder. Ooh, trying to get one back.
Another good save by Phipps. And again, Blue moving the ball well, working for a good shot, but not the best shot selection there.
Now Will Manning finds Cavanaugh. You can see kind of some of the frustration setting in on the blue team now, and
sure, you know, and they're going to have to adjust. Brian Phipps is a wider body in the goal. They're going to have to move him around a little bit more if they want to get one by him.
You can see White taking their time. We're probably going to see a lot more of that from White as this game progresses, and they continue to lead 6-4.
It'll be interesting to see who kind of steps up here for Blue to take control. Who's, you know, there are a lot of big names on this Blue roster, a lot of guys that are used to being the leader, sort of the big cheese on their team. But when you put them all together, it's sort of a study in who's going to take over here. I would expect to see Matt Danowsky try to settle these guys down a bit.
Working their way behind goal, White trying to find that open outlet. Trying to take a 3-goal lead. Cavanaugh tries to swing one through. Instead, goes out. It will stay with White. Fires one through, and what a save by John Galloway. 2011 graduate of Syracuse, and one of the homes of one of the most famous lacrosse players in U.S. history, and former Cleveland Brown running back Jim Brown.
Absolutely. Galloway had an absolutely fantastic career at Syracuse. He's done the same in the MLL.
Through, and another save. Galloway comes up big twice in a row to keep Blue in this, and we'll see if the attackmen can kind of work off of the momentum that Galloway has kind of created for them and see if they can get one of these goals back.
I like to see the mix-up the last time down for Blue. Long stick midfielder Joel White took a good shot there, but again, Phipps came up with a save.
Miles Jones was a force in that first quarter as well and has again been kept at bay. Will Haus has done a great job kind of guarding him.
We got a flag down here.
Might just be the offensive chance that Blue needs.
We got a slash here.
So Blue
on
will
White.
play
Blue
a
will
man
be
up.
minute up, the whole minute here. So this really will be Blue's chance to claw back into this.
And we'll see how Blue takes advantage of this man advantage. Miles Jones almost loses it, able to settle it back down eventually. And that one just tracks through. Jordan Wolf, the closest player there, will get it back for Blue. Now Jones. Trying to sneak one through was Danowsky.
Yep. Gonna push on Blue there. Again, Blue, or White looking really to hold on to this ball right here. They're still down from the penalty.
And almost over. Blue didn't really have a great opportunity to try and put the ball in the net. Danowsky had a nice effort, but taken back by White, and we are back. The man advantage is gone, so.
Yeah, Jordan Wolf and Miles Jones need to find a way to connect. They spent several years connecting at Duke.
Beautiful move by Connor Kelly to shake two defenders for Blue, and you see White taking their sweet time. JoJo Morosco had one of the more athletic goals that we saw. Great movement by White.
You know, for someone like Connor Kelly, senior at Maryland this year, to be on the field with this kind of experience, what a great experience for him. He certainly holds his own.
Now Buczek out to his left. Kept up, Morasco. Taken back by Blue, so see them back on the offensive side as Bernhardt. Now Blue fighting for space. Around and in, and what a save by Phipps.
Yeah, Earhart was wide open in the middle there. It was a great look. Again, Blues had some good looks, but they've either missed the cage or Phipps has come up huge for them.
White looking for that third goal, and they're trying to find it, and just wide. Unfortunate and unlucky for Dylan Malloy as he just put that one inches wide.
Yeah, Malloy would like to have that one back, cursing himself a little bit. Great movement by this White offense. Really attacking the center of the Blue defense.
Chris pass in
Good
and kicked
save.
away by Galloway.
This might be the story of our third quarter is goalkeeper play.
Galloway gave up the two early, but has been fantastic ever since. Now White working the ball back around.
Yeah,
Cavanaugh.
I don't know if you can hear it from the stream, but you can hear the coaching staff reminding White there's no timer, so they really can take their time.
It looks like this is going to be a penalty on Tucker Durkin.
Yep, got a 1-minute penalty for a slash here.
And a lot more pronounced with those long sticks.
Yep. In the international game, like I mentioned, is more tightly called, so some of the things you'd say, wait a minute, that didn't look so bad. On the international level, it's going to be called right away. Joel White with another steal there. It's the second time he's kind of just picked it out of the air.
Now able to work their way forward. Joel White, they are a man down right now. Probably about another 30 or 40 seconds or so. Rob Pennell, after a very strong first quarter, has been relatively quiet.
So this is, the real strategic difference in these rule sets is that Blue can hold this ball until their penalties expired. I would think if this game were a lot closer towards the end of the game, you'd see White put obviously a tremendous amount of pressure on the ball if they can, but really not necessary at this point.
And they will get their man back. Back at even strength for both sides, and now we'll see Blue trying to step it up. Just over 4 minutes remaining in the third quarter. And Blue desperately needs a goal before this third quarter whistle, as they have been held completely silent for the last almost 40 minutes, and they try to put one on. And
it's a good look by Joe Walters, just slightly over the top of the cage.
Now Pennell.
Great defensive play.
Dispossessed, taken back away. That is our first look from Kyle Hartzell playing with the White team now. Brought up by Haus. You know he's playing with that extra chip on his shoulder, knowing his brother's on the other side in a different colored jersey. Now White and Connor Kelly. We're down to 3 minutes remaining. Now Buczek. And you can see Blue kind of playing from their heels a little bit right now, allowing White some space. Holding tight, tries to bounce one in, and nice effort by Connor Kelly, but that will just bounce away from Galloway. White will keep it.
It does look like Blue's starting to put a little bit more pressure on the ball, especially up top. They've gotten beat on an inside feed, I think mostly because the feeder up top is wide open, so a little bit more pressure up top, which is nice, and they force the turnover here. Yeah, you're going to get a penalty for that. 2 flags on the field.
And now you see a little bit of that chippiness and that extra competitive nature, knowing that these guys only have about 22 more minutes to try to impress Coach John Danowsky. We'll see who gets.
Yeah, we're going to get a check to the head here. Obviously, there's always a good amount of caution with hits to the head.
Timeout, Blue team.
Recently, all of the research done, starting with the National Football League and concussions. A lot of sports have followed suit as far as head injuries and brain injuries, and it's been a lot of people, or some of the diehard fans that, you know, complain that it's, you know, all part of the game, but it's pretty much the most important part of your body.
And I think obviously this game is a game that has a lot of physical contact, but I think the officials do a good job of sort of setting the tone of you know, what crosses the line and what doesn't. In that case, just a pretty reckless check to the head. They're going to get that every time. Not a whole lot of tolerance for stuff around the head or above the shoulders. So.
So it looks like Blue will have the man advantage when we come out of this timeout.
Can't quite see who's sitting in the box there, but it might be, let's see. It could be Chanichuk sitting in there, but he's having a discussion with the official at the moment. Nope. 28.
I believe that is Dylan Malloy.
Dylan Malloy.
So Blue with the man advantage. Again, they have been held scoreless for over 40 minutes.
And again, give a lot of credit to the White defense. They've done a great job, and I would give a tremendous amount of credit to Brian Phipps.
And not just Phipps, but now a chance. Beautiful save by Phipps. Gets a stick to it. Blue still with a chance. Trying to get one back. And they lose it. Fighting forward, that is Jacob Richard.
I think this is Hartzell coming out with it. The turnover.
Every goalie that we've seen today making a strong case for making this roster. Now Rabel. Fires a shot. That is Ryan Brown. And what a rocket that was to get one by Phipps. Shielded by a couple of guys just outside of the crease in front of him, and he had no chance.
Good time for Ryan Brown to get involved in this game. He's been awfully quiet. He's just an absolute sniper.
Rabel has done a great job of finding those open passes, and there you see just
a rocket.
Burning it by Ryan Brown.
Blue goal scored by 6, Ryan Brown, assistant number 3, Paul Rabel.
Tom Kelly with another face-off there for White.
So 6-5 with under 20 seconds remaining, and Blue needed that one.
You see a little bit more excitement in the step of Blue. All of a sudden, pick it up a little bit.
Jordan Wolf putting that pressure on high as that one tries to sneak by, and with 1 second left, that will be the end of the third quarter. 6-5. We went almost a full 20 minutes again without a goal, but Blue able to sneak one by, and Ryan Brown able to get Blue back within one, the team that we expected to come out and dominate this game. And again, we talked about Phipps in that third quarter, but important to note, too, that Drew Adams, after giving up 4 straight goals, really just kind of stood on his head in that second quarter and allowed White to get back in this game and take the lead and put them where they're at right now.
This will be one of the tougher choices roster-wise for Coach Danowsky, is who are going to be the final couple goalkeepers to make this roster. Certainly think Galloway has a great shot at it. Someone with a lot of experience, can absolutely stand on his head. But the battle here between Phipps and Adams will be interesting. Both absolutely solid. I mean, Brian Phipps went, 19, almost 20 minutes with no goals and some really solid saves. So I think that's going to be one of the tougher decisions that has to be made.
John Danowsky, not a guy's job that I envy right now, and trying to have to tell almost 20 of these kids that they can't go to Israel, because everybody that we've seen today, for the most part, has proven worthy, and there's a reason that they've been called here for this U.S. Lacrosse Showcase. Final 20 minutes upcoming. It'll be Blue attacking from left to right on your screen. White will be going from right to left with the lead. 6-5 is their advantage. Again, this will be the only quarter in which there will be stoppages. That will be in the final 3 minutes.
I would imagine not only for these players is it exciting to be part of this mix, but just the coaching staff that has been put together. Just a wealth of experience, such a great opportunity. These guys don't get to be coached like this every day. So I think even for the guys that don't make this final 23, it's been really a rewarding experience for them.
And looking back to this same contest last year, when U.S. played Notre Dame, it's interesting to note that game ended 16-11, and we're at 6-5. Yeah. So usually at these showcases, you don't envy the goalies because they just have so much work to do playing against all this top talent. But they have really been the story of this contest here at the 2018 Spring Premiere.
And again, you're seeing the result of playing with a rule set that's a little bit different.
Trying to find some space, John Haus. Out for Rabel. Dancing around the crease, finds Jones up top, bodying his way through it. He gets the goal. Jones ties it up with just about 18:45 remaining, and he fought for that one and brings the Blue team back level.
Never fun to get physical with Miles Jones, but he can get a little bump on you and get his hands free. He can be awfully dangerous from that distance. Phipps a little disappointed with himself. It wasn't the strongest shot, but
Miles Jones earning that one for the Blue team. 6-6. They have tied it back up and again seem to have that little bit of momentum. Now, as you mentioned, we're probably going to see a little bit more of a physical game for this final 18 minutes or so.
I'm going to be honest, although, there's obviously a ton of talent on both of these rosters and for Blue, but the missing Ned Crotty. Blue is definitely missing Ned Crotty on the field. He's sort of a field general, someone who can make a lot of things happen. But a good opportunity, on the other hand, for some of these other guys to step up here.
Which we've seen some of them do. Ryan Brown getting the 5th goal for Blue. For Miles Jones just getting that equalizer. Now Pennell. Rabel approaching, trying to find a shot. Nothing there but Blue, and tries to go back behind the head. Nice effort by Drew Snyder.
That ball was placed perfectly, just happened to hit the defender, but it was a great look there.
Nice little hook and blocked by Phipps. Excellent save. White trying to get downfield, and they'll award it to White.
It's a loose ball push. That looked like some good acting there, but we'll go with the push.
Now Marcus Holman, he got the scoring started for White back in the second quarter.
He did, and he makes a lot of stuff happen off the ball, but really needs to get himself involved. A little bit more involved in this offense. He went a little bit quiet at the end of that third quarter there.
Holman back behind for Buczek. Now White just kind of cycling around.
Holman comes from a long line of lacrosse family. His father, Bryant, the new head coach at the University of Utah. Sister Sydney just finished up at University of North Carolina as well. Won a couple national championships there with them. Brother Matt also played at Carolina, so quite a line of lacrosse in the Holman family.
Cavanaugh running, fighting through, trying to find a shot. Nothing there. Back for Buczek. Fakes the long shot and looking for somewhere to go as Blue clamps down. White with some excellent passing, and just, I don't know how that happened, but Dylan Malloy just stunned everybody behind the head with about 15 minutes to go, and I can't wait to see that replay because that was incredible.
Really had nowhere to go but to go behind the back.
As we take a look again, see Buczek there, finding Fricaro and just working their way around the goal, and just behind the head.
Two defenders.
Burns two for Blue.
Yeah.
And White yet again have the lead, 7-6.
Tom Kelly again able to get that ball out for White. I think he's really actually been the difference for White in that string of goals they scored. He's been able to come up with pretty much every faceoff.
Malloy working his way through again. Now Holman. There's a deep shot, and that time that was Chanichuk.
Yeah, not the best shot selection there. Galloway eat that up pretty much every time. Danowsky looking to pull this defense way out.
Danowsky trying to find an open lane and blocked away by Phipps. Great save. Danowsky had a nice run. Took a little bit of a hard angle, but Blue
not
able
the
to
best
keep it.
placement. Good lane to shoot. Just not the best place shot. Again, these guys have not played in a while. Maybe shaking a little of the rust off, but I would suggest the play's going to pick up in the next few minutes here.
Just about 13 to go. Pennell turning, no look shot. Brings Blue back level with White at 7-7. And who else but number 7, Rob Pannell, gets Blue back into it.
You see Phipps kind of tapping his chest that's on him. I think he wasn't anticipating Pennell shooting that ball. Kind of laid off for a second. You might see it on the replay here.
Pennell just taking his time, working his way behind goal.
Yep. And you'll see Phipps just kind of relax as he comes up top here and just went to sleep a little. That's a ball that Phipps should have, but a decent shot by Pennell.
Great awareness by Pennell, knowing where the goal was with his back to it. turns, fires, and ties it up 7-7. This is more of the game that we expected to see. Two equal sides getting their chances. Not one team dominating either quarter. This one has kind of came back to both of them. Now Rabel. Joe Walters back behind goal. And Pennell. Trying to get through.
Great look.
Through and saved by Phipps. Joe Walters had a little bit of an open lane and took his chance, but Phipps stopped it like everybody expected him to, and now Phipps having a conversation down in goal with Jordan Wolf.
It was a fantastic look from Rob Pannell to Walters. Phipps comes up big again.
White trying to find the possible game winner.
Yeah, again, no rush here for White.
And Morosco
Right
gets
off
a
the post.
shove in the back. So White will have the man advantage.
30 seconds. This is a technical foul here for interference.
Blue penalty.
So we'll see if White can capitalize.
Jake Bernhardt, interference, 30 seconds. Man advantage for White.
No team has yet to score a man up. And right there, Buczek tries to line one up. A couple feet wide, but a good look. Buczek. That one.
Oh, that ball's
great
blocked
defense.
in front. Yep.
Connor Kelly tried to get that one off. Instead, now Blue on the charge. Under 10 minutes remaining. Again, the clock will have stoppages in the final 3 minutes. Right now, we are all locked up at 7. Miles Jones.
Miles Jones has a good matchup here. As does Walters. Again, matched up with Holman with the short stick.
Walters has some room trying to get through. Great defense by Holman. Now Jones. Guarded by Buczek, trying to find some space.
He's going to legal screen there.
White
Jordan
quickly.
Wolf pleading a case there, but
Down and trying to find a open lane. Connor Kelly puts one out wide, and it'll go back for White. Good awareness by Dylan Malloy to be there as it went out. Looking for that open shot. Holman sneaking through, taken away by Blue.
yeah, he's disappointed with himself there. It was a good look in the middle.
8 minutes remaining. Both of these teams looking for the go-ahead goal. See Blue taking their time, trying to not try to get quantity shots, but quality shots.
Absolutely. They'll look for the good matchup here again, trying to pick on a short stick. Phipps, another big
That
stop
one
there.
just in front of Phipps. An excellent effort, and now keeping it himself, Matt Abbott. Another member of the Syracuse Orange, class of '09. Settle back to Fracaro. White making some substitutions as, again, the temperature probably dropped about 5 or 10 degrees within the last 10 or 15 minutes. So see if that has any effect on these players going.
Judging from the number of guys from the Boston, Long Island area, I think they'll still take this.
Holman behind net. Back out for Malloy. Snakes one through. Taking a hard angle was Will Manny.
Smart heads-up play there by Will Manny, though, to keep that ball in bounds, find a teammate.
Galloway was right there to save it. Now Malloy. A little bit of commotion outside the crease, but
a little bit, but no foul called there.
And Galloway coming out a little bit, trying to get his attackers forward. We've seen some exciting long-distance goals here during the spring premieres. Saw one against the USU 19s 2 years ago, as it got down to crunch time, and now we'll see.
That U19 game, fantastic game here. No love lost between Canada and the U.S.
One of the first games I had an opportunity to call, definitely one of the most exciting, almost a full court fling by Team Canada to tie it up with just seconds remaining.
Unbelievable game.
Now Miles Jones, we'll see if blue or white has some of that long distance magic, trying to hit one through. Just losing possession, Paul Rabel, but comes back up with it.
Yeah, ball just came out of his stick there. Nice recovery. Again, Danowsky trying to slow everyone down a little bit. I think that's Danowsky. Yeah.
4.5 minutes to go, so getting down to that time where we will have clock stoppages.
Oh,
It'll be
great
in the
look.
final 3 minutes. Rabel just inside and mishandled. Joe Walters comes up with it.
He was looking for Ryan Brown across the crease. Nice Walters to back it up.
There's the shot Phipps again right there. Pressure coming from blue.
And Phipps just stole that one.
Right out of the air.
Yep.
White knows, everybody knows, there's clocks ticking away on both sides of the field, the north and south end.
A timeout here, is my guess. Yep.
That will be a timeout. It will be taken by White as they will try and get their strategy for the final 3.5 minutes. Again, there will be stoppages in the final 3. But what a contest this has been between blue and white. It's fought just as you think it would be for just about 20 guys on each side. Again, fighting for 23 spots.
Yeah, you see Coach Seth Tierney with the offensive group for white. He's very patient, but he's very direct, and I wouldn't be surprised to see White come out with a solid possession and a goal out of this one.
7-7 the score, white and blue. Seen some ups and downs. Blue started out the scoring 4 straight goals in the first quarter, with blue getting 4 straight in the second. Went into halftime tied at 4 goals apiece. And then white came out strong in the third quarter, 6-4. Before blue was able to come back and tie it up finally now at 7-7. We've had Buczek for white has scored 2 goals. Holman's had a goal, Cavanaugh with a goal, Chanachuk with a goal. So just very dynamic scores for White. And then for Blue, you've seen 2 from John Haus, 2 from Rob Pannell, including the one that tied us at 7. And then Ryan Brown, Matt Danowsky, and also Miles Jones.
Good spread shooting, spread scoring, not surprising. This is a very unselfish group. But I do think what you might have heard if you were in that huddle with Coach Tierney is let's be a little selfish.
Also saw Dylan Malloy probably with the goal of the game, a little behind the head, no-look shot that was able to sneak by Galloway. That was the White 7th goal.
Got a good group out here with Holman, Chanachuk, Fracaro.
Malloy tries to put one past, and White keeps it in. Now Buczek
Less than 3 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter.
tries
good
to get
save.
a buy-in again. Blue keeps it out of the back of the net. And they're going to award it to Blue.
Galloway had a big save there, stuck on his pipe, caught it on his feet.
Now space for Blue. 2.5 minutes to go. Looking for that game winner. And now we'll
Another
see
timeout.
a timeout by Blue to try and get their last attacking chance. Again, the last timeout with 3:35 remaining. A minute ticks off of the clock, and now Blue will take their timeout.
Better possession there by White on offense, just, not able to finish it. But again, good ball movement, good awareness of where the defense is, just wasn't able to put it in the goal. I feel like the same things happened on the Blue end, so we'll see what they come out here with.
Just an excellent game, entertaining from start to finish. And after Blue went almost a little over 40 minutes without scoring a goal, able to get 3 back here. Very exciting fourth quarter and third quarter. It's been up and down the first half and pretty equal for the second half. And these guys, you can see, definitely want a chance to play and become the best lacrosse team in the world. In the history of NCAA men's lacrosse, there's been 11 players that top 300 points in their career. 4 of them are on this U.S. team roster, and the coach's son, John Danowsky. That's Matt Danowsky, Dylan Malloy, who we've seen with a goal today, Rob Pannell, and Jordan Wolf.
Yeah, Duke certainly put out some big-time scores, both Wolf and Danowsky coming out of there. Malloy with a fantastic career at Brown.
Malloy 6th all-time with 318, and Wolf with 304, 11th. .231 to go, 7-7 tied up between Blue and White at the Team USA Spring Premiere for United States Lacrosse. Rabel. Pass to Jones, can't settle it down, and White on the break. See if they have a game winner in them. Sneaks through, and Galloway with the save to keep Blue tied.
Yeah, Richard took a bounce shot there. I don't know whether that came off of Galloway or off the ground, just a high bounce shot. But that's the first we've seen of Richard, a great defensive turnover. Not a great shot, but an open look.
Now bringing it up, Connor Kelly. Center it back for Fracaro. Trying to break through Morosco. We've seen him with a very physical goal.
Connor Kelly up top here.
Kelly looking for space, trying to get a shot off, has to go back behind the net. Malloy. Then back up top for Fracaro. As he is tripped.
They're going to give the timeout here, I think, to White.
Blue jumping off the sideline as looked like White had lost possession, so 1:13 to go.
Right, what the officials arguing there is that the player called timeout going to the ground, which is allowed as long as he has the ball in his stick. What Blue's saying is, wait a minute.
It was bouncing around.
I think he was losing the ball, so.
So now obviously Melissa with no really competition at stake here, just kind of being a showcase. What's going to happen if we come to the end of this last minute and 13 seconds and we're still tied at 7?
You know, knowing Coach Danowsky, I think he'd be perfectly happy with this game ending in a tie, if for nothing else than to say, we have a really balanced squad here. We've put out, 40-some really great players, and it's going to be a tough choice for us. I don't think he's really thinking about a win or a loss here. I'm not so sure, just the competitive nature of the guys. Obviously, you want to be on the squad that wins, but I think he'd have no problem ending this game in a tie.
And also, the last thing you want to do is go to an overtime period and then have a player get injured going into July.
True.
Is not something that you necessarily want to
I also don't know
have.
whether or not, because these guys don't play FIL rules often, whether or not they would play in overtime just to get the experience of what that's like. Not sure what they're going to do here, but if I had to guess, I would say they're going to end this game in 1 minute and 13 seconds.
Especially as the temperature continues to dip down into the 40s, which again, most
You
of these
Floridians are soft. This is like mid-spring up in Long Island.
Now Malloy into the corner, back out for Connor Kelly. 60 seconds to go.
1 minute. 1 minute remaining in regulation.
And although this game will end in 1 minute, this is going to be a long night for this coaching staff.
Now Chanachuk. Buczek running around.
So you see we're under 3 minutes here, and the officials did initiate a keep it in the box.
25 seconds to go.
25 seconds.
Looking for that last shot. It is Connor Buczek, already with 2 goals. Now with 13 seconds to go, we'll see. Buczek loses it, scoops it back up. Now under 10 seconds, trying to find one last shot. And what a save by Galloway, keeps it at his feet. And after 80 minutes of play, we will finish tied at 7.
I don't know how he kept that ball.
What a save in the last seconds. And what an effort by Buczek, and a stronger effort by Galloway.
The ball
wow.
came off the post. I don't know how he kept it in front of him.
And now they're having a conference with the officials, so we'll see
what they want to do,
what the decision is. But I don't think any of these kids have anything to hang their head about. It has been an intense almost hour and a half of lacrosse here in
Get
Bradenton.
this replay here. I mean, Galloway, this is such a heads-up play. This is a great look here. Ball comes off the post. He kept it right in front of him.
Every single player on the field making a case for that 23-man travel roster that's going to be headed to Netanya, Israel, to reclaim the #1 ranking in the world after falling to Canada 8-5 in the gold medal game in 2014 in Denver, Colorado. But wow.
All right, fans, at the end of regulation, score is tied at 7. International rules. We'll have 2 4-minute
So we are hearing the public address announcer say there's going to be 2 4-minute periods.
That's the FIL rules for overtime. They play 2 4-minute periods. I'm a little surprised. I'm pleasantly surprised because it's great to watch these guys play, but I'm a little surprised they're going to play overtime here.
Now, as far as scoring is concerned, will they play these to a conclusion, or will the next goal win?
They'll play both periods, and then if there is still a tie or no score, then they'll play a sudden death period after that. So they'll play 4 minutes, they'll change ends, they'll play another 4 minutes, and then if the score's still tied, they'll play sudden death.
Well, it's been a great 80 minutes, so let's play a little more. So we'll see Trevor Baptiste
Fans on the goal as we start overtime.
and also Tom Kelly on the face-off for White.
Galloway, and for the White team, 22, Ryan Phipps.
So we'll see Tom Kelly and Trevor Baptiste, probably two of the best face-off guys in a long time, go after it here.
So we will see Phipps and Galloway remain in goal. Blue will be attacking from right to left on your screen. They will come up with it. Pressure coming, looking for some open space.
And great hustle there by Trevor Baptiste. Lost the initial face-off.
DiNapoli puts one on, and Phipps able to block it away.
I think Phipps and Galloway want to make this team.
And they have made a case for it this evening. Bringing it up now, Will Haus. Will Manny. See them taking their time. Trying to find a shot. Nothing doing just yet for White, but they work their way closer. Up top for Morasco. Trying to find one, and again, great defense by Blue.
Absolutely great slide by Jesse Bernhardt.
Connor Kelly gets a shot off. It's blocked away. Holman back up top. Connor Kelly works his way toward the crease. And that one saved by Galloway. Another one put on frame, but man, have Galloway and Phipps been making Coach Danowsky's job that much harder. This has been an exciting 40-plus minutes in the second half. And what a show we've seen put on by both goalies.
Not only a good save, but great patience on the clear yet. Under pressure, didn't panic.
Now Jake Bernhardt. Trading passes. Blue back on the attack. Taking down as much time. They're probably going to try to get the last shot of this first overtime period off.
Right, again, they'll play, regardless of score, they'll play both overtime periods.
Dispossessed comes back, trying to sneak one through on the 1-2, and Phipps again. Now Cavanaugh. Back out top, he'll get it. Trying to guard that near side post. And it will be a timeout, White, with just under a minute to go. 52 seconds remaining in the first overtime period. We're still tied at 7.
Timeout, White.
Again, the United States at the national championship has been victorious the majority of the time, as the national championships, or the world championships, mostly split between United States and Canada. Canada being victorious 3 times, and then dating back to 1967, the United States have been the winner just about every other time. It's either been the United States or Canada, with Australia sneaking in there a couple of times, and then a 3-way tie back in 1974. But again, U.S., you know, all 40-plus of these guys want to be back to that #1 travel roster. That just makes Coach Danowsky's job that much harder going forward.
And there are a number of guys vying for a spot on this roster who would like a bit of redemption against that Canadian team. They've had some great matches between the two teams. The other team, I would say that, is going to get themselves in the mix one way or the other at some point, maybe not in this championship, but down the road, are the Iroquois. Obviously, the Thompson brothers playing for them. So I think there are other countries that are really starting to improve. The number of countries participating in the World Championships has grown tremendously in the last few years. But I certainly think there are enough guys on this roster that remember that sting from 2014 and would like very much to take another shot against Canada.
Now after the timeout, we'll see
White ball coming out of the timeout.
how White is going to go moving forward.
Overtime period.
Pressure coming, White working their way in. Working around Cavanaugh. Back out to Buczek. We're down to 20 seconds. And we saw Galloway with a fantastic save on the other end at the end of regulation with under 10 seconds remaining, and we'll have to come up big again. We're down to 5 seconds, looking for that final shot. Sliding one through, an off-balance shot, and that will be the end of our first overtime period. Blue and white still tied up at 7. 4 more minutes to go to try to get that game winner. Neither side has been able to do so just yet.
7, blue 7. Very brief break.
And just also looking down these rosters, the stars of Major League Lacrosse, as you had mentioned, 8 of the 12 players named to the All-Major League Lacrosse team from 2017 are playing for the U.S. Tucker Durkin, Greg Gorenlian, Marcus Holman, Jack Kelly, Paul Rabel, Tom Schreiber, Joel White, and Jordan Wolf. And we mentioned that Schreiber unable to play today because he has a game in Major League tonight.
Yeah, he actually playing for the National Lacrosse League Indoor, having an unbelievable season, probably, arguably, the best player in the world right now. So, a big miss for these guys out here, along with Crotty. But there's enough talent out here. I think Coach will obviously put together a tremendous squad for the World Championships. Saw there at the end, I think that was Kevin Unterstein who went down with an injury. He walked off the field, but we'll see if he comes back out.
Again, after running around for almost an hour and a half, cramps can come into play as well.
I think he took that last shot right off of his calf, so he's had an injury before he came here, was able to get back on the field, so hopefully it's nothing too serious.
Now we'll see Brendon Fowler facing off.
John Galloway, blue team.
And looks like Greg Gorenlian coming back on as well.
Yeah, and Galloway and Phipps have come back out. That's a false start there. Tough call against Gorenlian. Never want to give up a freebie on the face-off.
Now running down that far side, Drake Fricaro. This will give, again, White some time. Those unfamiliar with the international rules, there is no shot clock, so if they wanted to sit on it for this final 3 minutes and 30 seconds, they could, but they want to get the goal. Holman started the scoring. Can he end it? Tries to sneak one by Galloway. Another save.
We're going to get a flag here.
So the free play coming for Blue. And Blue is going to be a man up with 3 minutes and 12 seconds.
We got 7, not Connor Kelly.
White penalty number 2, Matt Kavanagh.
Interference.
30 seconds.
You saw Galloway pleading his case after that last save. So now a man up.
much like in ice hockey, you can screen the goalie, you can't make contact. So I think that's what Galloway was implying, that there was contact made there, and the official saw it. So
working their way around that outside umbrella, trying to get that ball close and get that game winner. That will deflect away, and ball awarded back to White.
not the best choice by Paul Rabel there. Had no backup behind the goal.
White back on the charge, a man down. Connor Kelly back to even strength.
You know, again, you got to think about the strategy of the game here. If there's a goal scored, you know, that would win the game by the end of time. So if I'm White, I might hold on to this ball and try to take a last shot here.
And Blue seems content to just allow them to do so. You can see some conversations being had on the other side of the field between a few of the blue and white players as White tries to work their way through. Firing and gets one by Galloway. Connor Kelly with the potential game winner, a minute 53 to go.
That's a big shot to take for a college senior amongst some much more established players. Good to see that confidence out of him, and a great shot. Looks like Galloway may have gotten screened a little bit on this by his defender.
As we take a look at the replay, and you just see.
Looks like he stopped his feet, and you'll see, just
Connor Kelly
just a
with
solid shot.
Just a burner to sneak one by Galloway. And just after I got done waxing poetic about all the MLL stars that are on the field,
the college guy does it.
You look at Connor Kelly, one of the only, if not the only player that does not play on an MLL roster.
Trevor Baptiste is the other. Still got one more year at Denver.
So now awarded to Blue. So with a minute 38 to go, Blue will have a chance to tie this up.
Yeah, so this is a check that you'll see quite frequently in the NCAA, but is not allowed on the FIL level. Again, they're very tight when it comes to any kinds of checks over the head. I thought that was a fantastic check, but but again, Tom Kelly comes up with a huge face-off there.
So a minute 38 to go. White taking the lead over Blue, 8-7. After Connor Kelly, one of the youngest guys on the field and for the White team, just taking an absolute gutsy shot, was able to wind up and had an open lane to the goal and just sneaks it by Galloway. One of the only hiccups that Galloway has had in the second half, and especially overtime.
Yeah, I think when you're the young guy on the team, you're sort of hesitant, you sort of defer to the older guys, but I think in this environment where you're trying to make an impression, you got to be thinking, why not me? And nice to see him fire that shot from outside.
And for a guy like Connor Kelly, who might feel like he's on the outside looking in, being one of the youngest guys on the field, he's definitely making his case. If he's not going to be there for 2018, I think he's got his eyes on making that 2022 squad.
Connor Kelly's got a tremendous future in front of him, whether he ends up on this roster or not. What an experience for him to take back to the University of Maryland. He certainly can play with these guys. You know, the question is he quite ready? That's a decision for the coaching staff, but that's a big goal there.
I think he just made his case.
Well, and certainly to sneak one by Galloway, it hasn't let much in. So, and that was a big play there. You give the ball back to White here. You're going to see Blue really have to fight to get this ball with a minute 38.
And you can see Blue's going to bring the pressure for this final 90
seconds. Oh, for
seconds.
sure. Nothing to lose here. Got to get the ball back.
Right now you can see Matt Abbott.
Yeah, nice to call a timeout there. Matt Abbott, one of the more sure-handed ball handlers on the team.
And now he gets an open lane to goal and just kind of dance around and send it back. White is going to have to be careful. Will Haus, just to make sure if you are going to pass.
All right, you see a double team come now. They'll try to pin him in a corner where they can.
Less than a minute remaining. Almost dispossessing pause, and the open netter, and that should do it. Matt Abbott sneaks through, and when they put the double team on, just breaking through, there was nobody in between Abbott and goal, and he's able to put it into the empty net, takes the 2-goal lead, 9-7 for White, and with 48 seconds to go, this should be the icing on the cake for the White side.
Great job by Jesse Bernhardt to get that ball loose. They just couldn't pick it up. He had to take the chance. Galloway's out marking somebody else.
White 9, blue 7.
Here's our other college player, Baptiste.
And Baptiste, you see,
gets beat on that one.
fighting for it. We've seen goals in quick succession. Scored at IMG before, so we'll see.
Absolutely, got to take a shot here.
And that's not going to help with 30 seconds. Blue fighting for it.
There should be a timeout
and
here.
now Blue will call the timeout. And Melissa, I just have no idea what's going to be going through John Danowsky's head as he goes back to watch this tape. A valiant effort by both, and we had talked in the pregame about how most of the guys that are going to be going to Israel are wearing a blue jersey today, but a lot of guys wearing white making a case to be on that 23-man roster.
Yeah, I would think the biggest thing for Coach Danowsky and the coaching staff when they go in that room is what guys matched up well together, which guys played well together, which guys are communicating well with each other, because at the end of the day, you've got 40-plus guys that all can play. It's just a matter of who you put on the field, who's going to really play like a team when they get there. And I certainly think there have been some players that maybe I thought in the beginning of the broadcast were on the fence that might have made their case for sure. I would have to think Brian Phipps made a really good case for himself.
And important to note also that, just because some of these players, again, almost half of them are going to be, sent back home and watching the competition in Israel from their homes here in the United States, nothing to hang their heads about because they have definitely shown out today.
No, and you're 6 months out from an international competition. A lot can happen. Injuries happen, family. A lot of these guys are married. Some have wives that are expecting, and you can have a lot of things happen between now and then. So even the guys that don't make the roster that they're going to announce tomorrow, all of these guys have to be prepared to get that phone call that they might be the next one in line if something happens.
And we'll see if Blue can try and get 2 goals in quick succession right now. 26 seconds to go. We've seen it happen on this field before. Will we see it again? On the restart, Paul Rabel trying to get one through. Nice deflection, great defense at Kyle Hartzell, who started the day on the Blue team, but able to get a stick to it and deflect it away. 15 seconds to go, and that should just about do it. As Will Haus sure is going to have a little talk with his brother about beating him by a score of 9-7, but that will do it. And the white team beats the blue team here at the U.S. Lacrosse 2018 Spring Premiere. And just so much going on, Melissa. Want to thank you for joining me on the broadcast tonight. Yeah, 9-7, and now the coaching staff for U.S. Lacrosse is going to have to put their heads together and pick 23 guys out of this 40-plus, but what an incredible game today.
Absolutely, and just want to, again, thank IMG for having us here. This is a wonderful event and a great venue to host it, so thanks to them, and certainly look forward to doing this again sometime.
Final score 9-7, White bests Blue here at IMG Academy Stadium, and for everyone at U.S. Lacrosse and my broadcast partner Melissa Coyne and everyone at Stream Sports, I am Ryan Sudol saying so long from IMG Academy.